What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the I Was Dead podcast. In this episode, I got a chance. Well, I have Bryce with me again, friend of the show. He's back on.
Hey everybody, happy to be here again.
Yeah. Yep. We're diving into the VisionPro. I just did some hot yoga, so I'm feeling pretty flexible, pretty relaxed. And let's just jump right into it. So, how was the pickup experience? Let's start about that. Because was there hype or something at the store?
There was, but I think just as a developer, maybe the hype didn't match what I was excited for. Like because I was so excited, and I was watching WWDC, and when they said one more thing, I literally screamed. I was like, "No way!" So, I think I was just always overly excited for it. So I can't really expect everyone else to be as excited as I was about it. But the pickup experience was great. I had a scheduled pickup at 1 o'clock, and I did get there a bit early. I just had some extra time to burn, so I was there at 11:30. And I'm just gonna
early, real early.
I was like, I'm just gonna sit and continue to do my work. But they were really quick. They got me set up with a demo with Apple Vision Pro, and by 12 o'clock, I tried it, and the sales rep was trying to walk me through a demo, but I was ahead of. I know it. I want to try the different things, but I was following her lead. Yeah. But I got to do a demo, and it was what I expected. I knew it was going to be great, and that's the experience I got. And yeah, by definitely like I said, my original appointment was at 1, but by 1 o'clock I'd already demoed, bought it, and I was out of the store. So that was nice.
All right. So I'm assuming you unboxed it in the evening or late in the day, right?
Yeah.
What are your initial thoughts? Is it a flop?
No, it's really not. It is. Expensive hardware, but it is just so mind blowing. Like when the box has a new car smell. Like literally the smell. Like you could, it just smelled like awesome. Like that new car smell. And then
luxurious.
yeah. And the box was huge. It's like you get a MacBook box. It's pretty thin. You could hold it in your hands like this, but it's like maybe 6 or 7 MacBook boxes tall. Like it's a pretty hefty box. And yeah, just the feel of the box. It's like I said, very high quality. Like that's where the part of the $3,500 is going to is that box. And I actually would have loved for the texture on the box to have like some different elements to it. Like it was all just one material, but as you say, rub over Apple Vision Pro on the box, it would have been cool if it had like some like glossy or some type of different feel of it.
Some leather.
Something, I don't know.
Some leather.
Uh-huh.
Dang, so have you had a lot of time to like wear it and play around with certain apps and just use it?
Yeah, I haven't like no-lifed in it, but
you're missing out, man. Why are you even here?
Nah. But I've definitely used its battery and tried everything that a developer is excited to try. I've been on the App Store and browsed apps that I didn't know about, and browsed some of the indie apps of developers I follow. I guess the one thing that I haven't gotten to that's really its selling point is the entertainment part. Like I need to get Apple TV, I need to get Disney Plus. So I'll probably watch some movies and such. But I've definitely, like earlier today, I like the drums, so I have an electronic drum kit, and it was so crazy because I was able to like pull up Apple Music on Apple Vision Pro and like put the lyrics right in front of my drums. And I was like playing the drums. Like I could see what was in front of me, but I still had the lyrics right there. And it was so much better. And then if I then I could turn the digital crown and I'm on the moon playing the drums. Like it made no sense, but it was so cool.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's crazy. Is that your favorite part then thus far, or?
Mm, I think I don't know. I've one of the apps I tried was like this puzzle game, and I think the part I like the most is just how intuitive eye tracking is. I really think that it is the same jump from going from a Razor, like a touchpad iPhone, to an iPhone screen. Like how we used to type in what I can't remember, but you know when you're like previously texting you to get H, you'd have to click 7 multiple times, whatever
Oh
that,
yeah,
uh,
yeah.
and then you can go
On the
to a
number pad,
touch.
basically, when you're texting on the number pad.
Exactly. And how intuitive. I mean, Jason, it is mind blowing that, and it's no different than using the mouse. Like if I want to go exit in the,
Mhm.
exit the web browser, I have to
Yeah.
get my mouse and then move all the way up to there. But on Apple Vision Pro, you're just looking at it, and then so
What do you
naturally,
wait? Then what do you do? So you look at it, and then how do you do the action for it?
it's pretty relaxed. Like you're just, our hands are in a natural state, and you just do like a little pinch gesture like that. I mean,
Wait, it
you don't
detects a
have,
hand gesture.
yeah, it uses, yeah,
Oh,
like that's how you click.
oh,
Hmm.
wow,
Yeah,
crazy.
it's crazy. Yeah,
I still probably won't be making the 3,500 investment though.
that's all right.
Yeah.
I think, like I said, it is a lot, and I feel like developers, it's like very, not, it's not immature, but there's just so much room for growth is what I'm saying.
Mhm.
Like I think, and Apple realizes it, but the developer community is what makes iPhone, Apple Watch, and the developer community is what's going to make Apple Vision Pro great. Like I
True.
said, there's a couple cool apps out there, but um, I think there's some apps that I wanted to try, but like I don't want to pay like like really apps should be free on Apple Vision Pro. I mean, like you can have in-app purchases,
No,
but
you got money. You got money to spend 3,500 on that.
but
You should be able to spare $5
right,
for an app. I was thinking
totally.
about the app idea I had. I was thinking about putting a price like $4. Because I mean,
Hmm.
if you're spending 3,500 on a headset, you could spare $4.
Right, I don't disagree with that, but it's like, hey, I already spent 3,500, and then uh, the accessory. I bought a travel bag, and then I originally thought Apple Care was not worth it.
Mm.
But after using it for a day, I'm like, actually, I'm gonna go back and get it because, like, the battery pack. It's like you have a battery and a cord that literally like connects to your side of your head. I feel like that is so easy to mess up. It's not quite like on the newer MacBooks how you have this MagSafe. That would be really nice,
Oh.
but it's like a lock in and turn, and I feel like it's just like locking it in is hard itself. Like when I did my
Hmm.
demo, I would have really liked either the salesperson to really show me how that works or be able to do it myself. But like I was doing it and you could kind of hear like a little spark or two. I'm just like, you got to be really careful with it. And then the battery pack, it's pretty natural to fit in your pocket or something, but it's also so easy for that thing to, slide out of your pocket. Like it's not likely it's going to happen, but it's definitely possible.
Yeah. And wait, how much
Mhm.
is Apple Care for that? Is it the same
uh,
as like
I guess I did like the $24 a month option. I think
oh,
if you buy it all up front, it's like $500.
oh.
Hmm.
Well, I guess for that, if you're doing that investment, then yeah, it might be worth
I
the
think, yeah, I think
safety.
it's worth the $24 a month. Like I said, because you're already paying, $3,500, and then that's just for the like lower storage model one, and then with tax it's $3,800. So $3,800 if you want a travel case, which is needed. Like you are, I think you're delusional if you don't have one. Go ahead.
Show the case.
Yeah, I mean, zip it up.
Actually, you should show it. Let's see
Let
it.
me show it. Yeah.
Let the people see it, especially for the people who aren't in the U.S. or who we don't have the
Exactly.
3,500. Just
Yeah. So this is it with this little pouch on. I'm just gonna do this over the table, but it is.
Oh.
I mean, it is beautiful.
Actually, that does look pretty dope.
Yeah,
they did a really good job with the. Well, of course, it's Apple, right? So they're not gonna release something that's like I guess bottom tier or not to the best.
Right. So this is a travel case, and yeah, like I said, without it, I really don't know how you would port this thing around. That's $218 with tax. So yeah, it's definitely a lot.
Mm-hmm. And for on the Vision Pro, can you FaceTime people? I have no idea what the features, but are you able to but FaceTime people in the sense that they like if somebody else has a Vision Pro, you guys can kind of act like you're in the same room. Is that a thing?
I haven't called anyone on FaceTime with Vision Pro. I'd love to, but I have called my friends who have iPhones, and they see your persona, and it's cool. Like I called one of my friends unexpectedly, and he just started laughing, like because I had text in our group chat that I was getting it, and I had FaceTime him, and he obviously because he was surprised, he didn't know I was it's gonna be my persona, and he just started busting out laughing.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And in terms of apps, is there any app that really stood out?
Yeah, there was this. So one of I was mentioning it a bit earlier. Is this puzzle game? I can't remember the exact name of it, but what it was is you're building. It was just like almost like not quite a furniture piece, but you're building like a furnace, like some type of something you may see in Minecraft, like something. Yeah. But it had a like 3D outline of it and all of the individual parts. So you would grab it and you can kind of like very intuitively throw it into its right spot. And I mean, that would be amazing if you're learning how to assemble something. Like before I had this iOS developer job, the AR role I was in was basically using AR to teach people how to assemble things. And I did try that app, and it looks really good on Vision Pro, not gonna lie. But this puzzle app, whatever I was telling you about, that was just nuts. Because like I said, it's hard. It was like some type of table, like something you would see in a kitchen, something like that. Mm-hmm. But like I said, all the pieces were off to the side, and you can select it and throw it onto the bigger piece, and you're like building it out piece by piece. And there were levels to it, and it was just so intuitive. And then I found a tic-tac-toe game, like a 3D tic-tac-toe game. And it was like on a Rubik's Cube. So it was way more like immersive than just like 9 boards and you're just tapping on it. It was like multiple dimensions to the game. So, and that just blew my mind because when I was early on in my iOS development journey, a tic-tac-toe game was one of the apps I built. And I even built an AR tic-tac-toe game. So I was like, let's see if there's anything like it on Vision Pro. When I saw whoever the developer was, I was like, man, kudos. Because I had like I said, I've built one. I mean, it was like 2018 though. And I was like, maybe I could build it for Vision Pro. But when I saw his implementation, I'm like, yeah, that's the best tic-tac-toe game on Vision Pro. It was really good.
Damn. Mm-hmm. Then I gotta figure out how to try the Vision Pro. Well, I guess if I go to my local Apple store, they have demos, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you'll definitely get a good aspect, like looking through even like the spatial videos, how you're like right there in the moment. I haven't created any yet, but from the demo, it was unreal. And on that note of just like spatial videos and really feeling immersive, what I like about Apple Vision Pro is I was playing Fruit Ninja. It's called Super Fruit Ninja, but they have characters. Like there's like this main character, he's like this old sensei type of guy. And you can like walk across your room and like, like interact with him. And then there's like a little pig, like the little character. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And there's the pig like running across and like the pig was able to go across my room floor and then jump up on the couch, and you could like pet the pig and it would like it was interacting and like like little hearts, like the pig was like humming. It was crazy.
Yeah, I feel like this iteration was. I was speaking with Kilo Loco earlier this week, and the episode will be out probably like in 2 weeks. But we were speaking. It was like this wolf. I think it'll flop in terms of the mass market sense, where like it's just like people are like your everyday Joe isn't gonna be buying or like walking around with it, using it pretty actively. And I feel like this launch is for mostly the developers and just people who are, because the developers are usually early adopters and people who are very into tech.
Agreed.
And that's kind of what this launch is for. So it's
agree.
like, but it is a very cool innovation, as you said. Like they have the eye tracking and like the whole like the way they built it so that you can see people's eyes when they're wearing it. That was pretty neat. Like I did. I heard a little bit about that. Like they had to change it up so that, because if you just put like a screen and like people's eyes, it would look very weird. But they did some like engineering, I guess material engineering, to make it look more realistic or more seamless.
Right. Yeah, I haven't seen or like had a friend show me, or like when I was telling you how I was like playing the drums and like mixing myself in the spatial surrounding. I was trying to like look at myself in the mirror to see if I could see anything, but I haven't been able to see exactly what that looks like yet.
You want to put it on now and do it?
Sure.
do it live.
Of course.
We're gonna see Bryce. What if it fails? Like
I don't even know how you do it. Like to see it. Like what do you know?
No. But maybe we won't do it then. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I'm just even trying to think like to get the I don't know. It may be something we can
I think I think if I remember correctly, I think it happens when somebody's talking to you or in your surroundings. And you're in, if you're in an immersive thing, it shows your
right,
like a purple thing, and if you're not in immersive and you can see people, then it shows your eyes.
It'll be worthwhile to try, because I still think it'd be cool just to show you what it looks like when you turn the digital crown and immerse yourself, because it does kind of turn purple. And I'll kind of get close to see if it changes, but if not, it'll still be cool to see. So this is charging, and I'll take off my headphones. I'll lose you in audio for a second, but it'll be okay.
All right, we're gonna see what happens.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna.
All right, that's moment of truth.
Oh my gosh.
This is
right. Power this thing on. And I'm actually just gonna move you to my computer audio so I can still hear you.
Yeah. It sounds good.
That should be pretty easy.
I like how they made it look like kind of like snowboarding goggles.
The spatial audio on this is crazy too. I'm kind of having a hard time switching so I'll just leave it. Okay. And I see you. I can fully see you. Like it's so cool. 5.
Is it on? Wow. I think you can hear us.
Okay. So I'm just gonna turn my digital crown and see if this thing turns purple. Like I can't see you anymore. So Yeah, I'm fully immersed. Like I'm on the moon.
Oh,
I put my hands out in front of me, and I believe this is my real hand,
yeah.
but it's so awesome that I could be convinced like this is just like a generated like
And
hand. Like, but I see
oh,
like I
there's
can
the
see my
oh,
hands.
the
I
blue.
can't see you, but like I look around and I'm on the moon, and I can open up Safari and put a huge window. Like it's legit.
Dang. Now I just realized this is probably terrible for the people listening at home. They can't. You guys can't see this, but if you, I mean, if you guys want to go on YouTube, check out the video, see what Bryce was talking about. All right. Thank
Sorry,
you,
what was
Bryce.
that?
You back? I
Yeah, I'm
was talking
back.
to the listeners or the viewers. I was this is
Hmm.
probably bad for the people who are listening like on on Spotify or Spotify has video, but if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, then you might have missed out on the little demo.
Hmm.
All right. So I guess the last thing we'll hit on the Vision Pro is did you well, you did build an app out for it, right? Or you build what you build for it?
Right. So it's very MVP, but it's an overview of Stamina Bar, the Apple Watch app.
Mhm.
So in a nutshell, it's just a window, and you have a list of like 5 different stamina bars you can pick from, which is all of its categories. You have like green when you're kind of at full stamina, and then kind of like that yellow green when you're maybe watching a scary movie, and it just explains what each different like main category of the stamina bar. So, kind of like what it means to be in an endurance zone, what it means when you're doing like a high intensity workout. But the gist of it is an overview of stamina bar, and to explain has big text that just explains kind of what each big main category, because
Mhm.
it goes from, I mean, individually 1 to 100, but I just kind of broke that up. So it's like 1 to 130. 1 to 30 means this, 31 to 55 means this, 55, et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm.
That's pretty neat. I didn't I decided not to well not that I did decided, but I just was focused on other things, so I didn't get the time, and I didn't want to stretch myself too thin and try to release one on the day of.
Right.
But I think I'll definitely be launching something at some point.
Mm-hmm. It'll be worthwhile, but like I said, especially with day one release, like I said, there's apps out there, but there's definitely going to be more. I'm excited to see what when what Apple
Yeah.
builds upon. Like some of their apps are fully fledged out, but take the mindfulness app for example. Like I was kind of hoping, kind of like that big ball that breathes in the mindfulness app.
Mhm.
Like in the promo, it was like, oh, this thing is going to go all around you, but it's like it just stays there. So I'm sure it's just
Mhm.
version one of it. And like I said, some of the indie apps, like I said, are really cool, but I imagine there's a day where people are really going to get good at, I mean, just spatial development, because it's
Yeah.
early. Like you can't expect to have the most phenomenal, and don't get me wrong, these apps are phenomenal on there, but I mean, you can't really expect day one to have like the most phenomenal ever app.
Yeah, because I mean, well, like iOS developers have to go from like building for phones and like I guess a 2D space to building now like in 3D and like VR and the
Hmm.
other tools that are involved in building something like that.
Right.
Hmm. All right. Oh, and if the listeners have any ideas, you could drop it down below in the comment section. Maybe
Right
me
on.
and Bryce will build it out.
Right on.
We'll build it out. All right. Did you want to hit on it? Did you have anything to talk about before we switch topics?
Yeah, regarding Apple Vision Pro, that's, yeah, like I said, great product, but I think we hit it all.
All right. All right. The next thing I wanted to hit on is oh you recently well we were talking about your kind of start or you kind of want to tour doing marathons. So I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
chat with you a little bit about that. Let us know what are the plans? What are you doing?
Right on. So, at the moment, I've traveled to Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and that was just like the first race kind of the year. I looked online to see marathons, half marathons across the U.S., and Baton Rouge was driving distance and like second week of January. So, I stayed there for like 9 days just to explore the city. And one of my coworkers are there, lives there, so I got to connect with her and do kind of like our work stuff.
Yeah.
And the marathon was fun. Like I got to do a half marathon through the city, and yeah, it was just like LSU. The campus is cool. Like LSU is it was a really cool vibe. And next, in 2 weeks from today, I'm doing Austin full marathon. So I'm gonna go fly into Austin on Friday, and then the race is on Sunday. Run a full marathon, and then I'm gonna fly back home that evening. And the other race I planned is in DC. So mid March, I'm gonna go run a half marathon in DC. I'm gonna stay from like Wednesday to Saturday, I believe, or Wednesday to Sunday. Hit up some museums. One of my coworkers is like kind of nearby, so we plan to like go visit a museum on like Thursday or Friday. Yep.
And that's pretty dope. I haven't done the half marathon yet. I mean the marathon. I've done half marathons, but not the
All right.
marathon yet. I gotta make that leap still.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and if the people, I'll be in Atlanta for a week, but I'm not doing a marathon or anything. I'll probably just be inside because it's cold. It's still winter out here in
Mm-hmm.
in the U.S. Although not in like South Florida, to be honest.
You have plans to do a marathon, or is it like is it on your
I
yeah?
it is on my plate, to be honest. It's just like I guess like just setting a date and doing it, to be honest. Because
Mm-hmm.
I don't even want it. Doesn't even need to be a race, to be honest. Because I do have marathons like just like on my own kind of,
Right, right.
and I think I could stamp out a marathon. Maybe although it's probably for the first one, I probably would want to do a race just to make it more
Right.
like official.
Mm-hmm. All
But
right,
it's
if
just
you
like a
ever
band-aid I need to rip off because I know it. I mean, I don't think it'll take me 8 hours, but I'll probably be like in the 7 hour range.
mm-hmm. Yeah, it'd be yeah, I mean, and you that's totally possible. Like you could walk it and just like a little
Oh
but you can totally do it. Nope.
no! Wait, what's your advice for that? For like getting getting there? Is it just something
Uh
you just do, or
yeah, I if like part of it is if you're really confused on it, I would say use stamina bar because the key to running those distances is to just keep control of your heart rate. Like if I were new to running or like trying to advise someone to train or to just run a marathon, not even maybe you're like somewhat trained for it or maybe you want to train or you just want to go out no training and do a marathon,
mm-hmm.
like don't let your stamina bar get below like 50%, like even if that means a run and walk, like there's no
Oh, so like pacing yourself, right? Is that what?
exactly, it's just pacing yourself
Ah,
because
yeah, yeah, that's true.
mm-hmm, yeah. And it's so easy to be excited about the run and then your heart rate gets at 170, which is pretty high, like at
That's
170 that's like kind of like
you're
your
sprinting.
yeah, you're sprinting.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's easy to feel like, oh, I can do this for a while, I'm excited, I'm doing my first marathon. But marathons are long, man, they're long. And it's like it's so easy to get injured that way. Like it's and like why I like stamina bar is it takes the guessing work. Like when you're training for a marathon, they say to do a lot of easy runs because that builds up your endurance base. But if you're overexerting yourself just training for a marathon, what normally happens is you just injure yourself because like the load of running, you're oh, I'm so tight and I can't recover. But like if
Oh,
you like really follow like how intense and you can use your heart rate to determine basically your intensity of the workouts. Like if you run a marathon in 7 hours or 6 hours, you still ran a marathon. Like it doesn't matter. And I think, like, again, I feel like maybe a misconception that people have. And when I've ran marathons, like I said, I've done them for fun, and like I'm not sprinting or running the whole time. It's definitely a pace yourself.
Yeah, I got interrupted.
It's like,
What's it called? Yeah, I get what you're saying. Pacing yourself is important. And hold on, give me a second.
you're good, bro.
All right, not bad. Um, oh, one thing that sparked in my head was are you planning to make it out to any iOS conference this year?
I want to, man. I don't have anything official. I think the really only big one I know of is Deep Dish Swift, and I I've like kind of wrote a letter to the company I work for because it would be nice if they could, sponsor or support me to go. But I don't have an official yes to go, but it's something I would love to do.
Same. I've been eyeing at it. It's like
Mm-hmm.
$600 off the tickets.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. I was gonna submit a call for papers, but I've been too swamped with work and just like the breaking iOS stuff that I haven't really. I didn't set the time to do it. It
Right.
was gonna be a talk like I was thinking of a talk on Superbase, like building with Superbase, or building with like HealthKit, something along those
Mm-hmm.
lines.
Yep.
But I guess I missed the deadline was January 30th.
Dang. Yeah. It would be nice to do a talk one day, but uh, I don't know. I can't. I don't know.
You don't know what
It'd be
topic yet?
fun. I think. I mean, I'd probably pick, like I said, probably something around HealthKit or Apple Watch development, just because that's where I spent most of my time. Even in design, I feel like I probably could know enough to give a talk about, designing, following human interface guidelines. I feel like I know
Hmm.
a lot about that.
Yeah, sometimes your talk doesn't have to be that technical.
Mm-hmm.
As long as it's iOS adjacent, I think
Mm-hmm.
I've seen people do some talks like that. Maybe I could do a talk like that, like how to become a developer. Make
Yeah.
it a very motivational speech. You have to do every day.
That's funny.
Wake up. um, yeah, and I don't know any others in the US though. I know that in
Mm-mm.
Europe they have like a bunch in the fall.
Right. Swift leads
Yeah,
comes to mind. But it
yeah.
would
Well,
be nice if. No, you
there's
go
one in
for it.
Mexico. There's
Oh,
one in
wow.
Mexico in December, Mexico City. But I
Oh,
believe that
wow.
it's in Spanish.
Ah,
If
no.
I'm not mistaken. So you got to learn use Duolingo, and by the time December rolls around, maybe you'll be good enough. Um, I think it's pretty dope though. Like if you actually do speak, they I believe they fly you out and pay for hotel.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Maybe I'll keep applying, or you apply like next year. I mean,
Hmm. Yeah, or if the conference listeners or if the conference organizers are listening, hit us up.
yep. Right on.
Hit us
Yeah.
up. I'll talk at the conference. What's up, people? I'll yell at them. You need to do more, and you need to do better.
Chase your dreams.
All right. Is there anything else you want to hit on before we wrap up?
Um, yeah, I think we were gonna talk a little bit about just some of our indie dev experience, how that's
Oh
going.
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Let's dive into that.
right on.
Let's dive into that. I guess I'll go first. Well, I have what do I have right now? I have three apps in the App Store.
Nice.
Three apps in the App Store. I have a writing assistant, which is I've actually surprisingly that one's has actually generated some money,
All
but
right.
I've kind of neglected it. I've kind of neglected it, but it's generated some money. And I also had that uses OpenAI,
Oh,
and that's
nice.
actually been a pretty good lesson because I learned a bit about um like the do's and don'ts in terms of your API keys and keeping them secure.
Mm-hmm.
Because if anybody's listening, or if anybody has experience using the OpenAI key in your in like an App Store app, people will, like, if you don't really do SLS pinning, or if you don't have like some layer of security when you make like that call to like OpenAI / ChatGPT, they people will scrape or like find a way to get your API key, and they will just run it up.
Dang.
Yeah. Yeah, so I got charged for like 150, I think 2 months, 2 months in a row. But I got
Oh,
refunded though. They OpenAI
okay.
was pretty nice. They refunded me.
That's good. That is crazy.
But yeah, in terms of the other, like, that one's done fairly well, and the other apps are doing okay. It's not something I've focused a lot of attention on recently, but they've been doing very well.
Nice.
How
How
about
is
yours?
the writing assistant? Is that like in-app purchases or is it
Oh, subscription.
okay,
Yeah, this is
nice.
a subscription model, a yearly and a monthly option.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been meaning to change the pricing. I think I'm gonna update my pricing to make the monthly a little bit more pricier, and that way it makes the annual more appealing. Because I actually had somebody buy the annual.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, my apps are doing really good. I'd say they're like definitely it's working on it. So just released. I have 3 apps on the App Store as well. Uh, they're all stamina bar related. So stamina bar spatial is what I called the app for VisionOS. Probably could have been spatial stamina bar, but like I said, it's just to get something out there. And I'm probably the only person who's used it. I had to check what App Store Connect says. And
In terms
then
of the
stamina,
analytics.
yeah, and stamina bar for Apple Watch recently crossed 500 downloads, so that was a pretty good milestone. Uh, and I do believe going to these races helped that because I made some shirts that have a stamina bar logo and a huge, I mean, the whole back of the shirt is just like a QR code and
Um,
it says like download stamina bar on the App Store, I believe.
oh, that is good
So,
marketing. You going to marathons just running?
yeah. Yeah. So when I was in Baton Rouge for that marathon about 2 weeks ago, I feel like that was the push to get me from like 480 to like that over just over 500 mark. So yeah, I feel like in another sense there is I'm starting to get more people just hit me up about it. Like one of my old college friends was hitting me up in group me and was like, "Yo, I love Stamina Bar. This is kind of like my thoughts on it." I'm like, "Oh, I didn't even realize you were using it like that." And then sometimes I'll get like a DM of just like keep building Stamina Bar, and I'm like, "Oh, like ah," and I've gotten like a couple like just reviews from people who like I didn't know directly or asked directly who were like gave a nice review about it. So I feel like it's starting to pick traction, and I think a lot of it came with the fidelity of the app. Like when I first launched it, of course it was an MVP. Like it didn't have as well designed stamina bars or all the features, but over time it has become easier to, maybe someone's just asking me about myself and I can say, "Oh, I have an Apple Watch app and I'm using it now and this is what it looks like," or
Yeah.
um, similar to that. And like when I was in the Apple store getting Apple Vision Pro, everyone just kind of naturally is like, "Oh, what do you do?" And I'm like, "I'm a developer. Like this is my app." So even some
Yeah.
of the people, sales rep at the App Store or at the Apple Store, was just asking about me, and they were like, "Yo, that's a cool app. I'm gonna go download it." So I feel like it's getting easier to, and I'll probably always leave it for free. Like there may be a point where it's like at 2,000 users downloads that okay, maybe worth put 99 cents or whatever. But I think for now, I'm just gonna leave it free. It keeps users flowing into it.
Yeah.
And I recently published what I'm calling Stamina Bar Pro. which is like it uses ChatGPT and HealthKit. So like you basically can only ask it questions more or less around health. That's what it's like prompted to do. So you can ask it, what are my health stats for the day? And it's going to say, based on your step count and blah, 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 the other HealthKit values I'm reading from. And then, cite like when I was, and it was a review process for Apple. Like that was,
Yeah,
I
that's
think
killer.
it took like 6 tries, I believe. But I had first built like a MVP, had some back and forth with Apple, and then it just stopped working. Like I think the how I was trying to build it, like the service or whatever, just stopped working, and I was like, dang, like, and I had it, like I was went through with Apple a couple of times, and they're like, the only thing you need to do is make sure, like, China's a restricted country to put anything ChatGPT related. So they're just like, uncheck China and it'll probably be approved. And I was like, heck yes. And then like I said, the service just expired, whatever I was using. And so I had to restart from scratch, like find another approach to get a ChatGPT working. And then that would work with HealthKit. And like I said, I feel like I went through every tutorial on how to build a ChatGPT app, and that was the first step. And then I had to make it
Need to
work.
make a new one.
Yeah, and I had to make it work with HealthKit. So I eventually got there, and then, like I said, it was just a lot of back and forth between, okay, is this good enough, Apple? And they're like, no, you got to change this. Now, is this good enough? And like I said, there is like 6 or 7 rejections I got before it finally got approved. And yeah, it's on the App Store now, and it's like it's on the charts. Like I can't. It's not sure what's exactly going on behind the scenes about it, but it's like somewhere between like 50 and 70 on App Store health fitness apps right now. So I'm trying to do, like, hit up my friends on Instagram and like the running groups I'm in, like, hey, just continue to download it and rate it 5 stars. So I hope it just keeps climbing. Like that's the goal. Like it'd be great to, like, just kind of comparing it to the other apps. I think it has a lot of potential to be, one of the higher rating health fitness apps.
Yeah. Does that one have a paywall?
Yeah, I just have a sure fee of $1.99. So just a front up fee on the App Store of $1.99. Mm-hmm.
All right. Wait, how do you manage that with like the ChatGPT?
I just loaded money into it, and like there's X amount of dollars in there, and then if it gets to a threshold, renew it. But like I said, it's still super new, and like, I mean, it's gonna have to be a lot of more users and a lot more questions to
I ask because, like, from the business perspective, if you have a user who uses it heavily, they might be costing you more than the $1.99.
Right. And like I said, at the end of the day, it's still MVP. Like, it's trying to just get it out there. And I actually saw on Twitter, kind of, I mean, there were a lot of other things motivating me just to continue to scale and put more apps out there. But I saw like a senior developer mention, like, okay, basically build your first app and get it on the App Store, get your first user, and then like make an app or whatever, scale it so you're getting your first dollar. So it was a little bit about just like, can I make an app that can make $1 or whatever, $2? And I think, like I said, as time goes by and I see people are starting to use it, then I can update maybe how the payment goes. But I think, for now or the next month, like, it's probably not. And like I said, I could wake up one day and there's just like way too many users that I may need to really consider it. But I think, for the next month, I can kind of plan on what that is, because even if it was, $1.99 a week, I'm sure if it provides value to people, or however much it is, it definitely could be a more like, I guess, a consistent payment that the users give. But I think for now, if you give me $1.99, then go for it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I appreciate you for coming on the show again, Bryce. For the show, we'll probably do a few more episodes like this. Um, thank you guys for listening and watching this episode. If you're an aspiring iOS developer, check out breakintoios.com. I am running a new cohort. Enrollment opens pretty much the day this releases, and it closes like in 3 weeks. So if you're interested in that, hit me up or go to apply.breakintoios.com. And thank you again, Bryce, for pulling up. If you guys want to follow us on the socials, the links will be in the description. See you guys next time. Peace.
Peace.